Namari, my fellow Tolkienites. It has been 50 years since J.R.R. Tolkien moved on from Middle Earth, as he would put it in The Lord of the Rings and all the subsequent and prequel books and writings. But his legacy continues to live on, especially because of the newfound interest in The Lord of the Rings after Peter Jackson's original trilogy, and the director's cuts were really awesomax. I recommend that if you haven't watched the director's cut of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you should watch it. The Hobbit was fine, acceptable as it is, but made more for a spectacle rather than, uh, you know, how shall we say, literary, uh, staying true to the literary world or that Tolkien created. And finally, we have the Rings of Power, which are completely and utterly reimagining Tolkien's Middle Earth in the Second Age. And I think it's a good attempt, considering that it's the most expensive TV series ever produced, or OTT series, same thing these days. But I will say that the Rings of Power is setting up for way more, shall we say, inclusivity in the modern times rather than staying true to Tolkien's works. But I don't think Tolkien would have minded, and the Tolkien estate doesn't mind either. So I guess that's a given plus. And speaking of Tolkien's other writings, you might want to check out The Leaf and all, Niggle, Leaf by Niggle, and a few other stories that are not part of the canon Middle Earth literature that he so painstakingly created, especially because he was a lover of languages. So, linguistically, Elvish is the language that he based the entire Middle Earth mythology on. And of course, starting with the first stage with the Valar and the Maiar and Eru, the god who created the entire universe, so to speak, in the Lord of the Rings mythology. So all these things were created as a backdrop of Elvish, and Elvish itself has been, you know, like many most languages, it has evolved into different versions. Quenya, Sindarin. Uh, there's one with a T that I'm forgetting. Teleri, I think it was. But as the case may be with languages, so is the case with the species found in the Lord of the Rings. The major ones being, of course, the humans, the mortal men doomed to die, the dwarves, the elves, of course, and various other creatures and species like ants, who are quite unforgettable in their characterization and in the role that they play in the uh, overall story arc, right? So I'm not sure whether it's visible in this resolution or not, but here is the inscription on the one ring that is at the center of the entire story, and it says, "One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them." I would like to say it in the dark Mordor tongue of Elvish, which says, "Ashnask Durbatuluk, Ashnask Krimpatul, Ashnask Thrakatuluk, Ag Burzum Ishi Krimpatul." And these are the things that were all the rage even before the movies came out with us in literary circles. But like I said at the beginning, the movies played a big part in popularizing Lord of the Rings, which deserves its place in at the top of literary canon, English literary canon at least. We have our own mythos, of course. The Ramayana and Mahabharata are very fertile grounds for stories, for imaginative story arcs, for characterizations that are flawed in human ways and yet redeemed by their uh, actions or by gods themselves. So, all this mythology has a very strong effect on people, on society, on individuals, and I'm hoping that it will ignite sparks of curiosity in little Advitya as well. So, with that, I will call this Tolkien tribute to an end. And like I said at the beginning, Namari to my fellow Tolkienites. If you are a fan of Tolkien's works, not just the books, but the movies, which are nice adaptations of his works, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's get a conversation going. Do check out my other videos about the Lord of the Rings and about a lot of other pop culture as well. This is Advitya. I'm Aradhye. We are the Akshats. And smash that sub button for awesome ads fun. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye from Advitya.